British teenager named Jay Slater has gone missing at a music festival, and the internet conspiracy theories have gone into overdrive. Some really nuts stuff is happening. So we're going to break down what's happening, what people are saying, and look at why the internet always just goes too far in these situations with all these theories. On this, Scroll Deep, the show that keeps up with the internet so you don't have to. So Jay Slater is a 19-year-old British guy who travelled to Tenerife for a music festival and then went missing. On the morning of the 17th of June, he apparently got into a car with two men he had met on like a night out, and he drove to a national park in northwest Tenerife. He posted a picture of himself at 7:30 in the morning in the doorway of a property, and then at some time between 8:30 a.m. and 9 a.m. he phoned a friend to say that he had missed the bus back to where they were staying and that he was going to do a 10-hour walk back. He also said he had 1% battery. He said he had no idea where he was and that he desperately needed water. And since then, Jay has not been seen. And the case has captured the public's attention, and almost immediately after it was announced he was missing, conspiracy theories have started swirling on social media, accusing Jay of all kinds of unsavory things, like being part of a drug deal gone wrong, or being involved with like Moroccan gangsters. And you may wonder, and fairly, why are people speculating so wildly about this random British teenager and accusing him of all these crimes? So, for context, in 2021, Jay was part of an 8-person gang that attacked a 17-year-old victim using a machete and golf clubs and other weapons, leaving the victim with their head split open. They were caught, taken to court. Apparently, they all laughed and joked so much throughout the trial that the judge had to tell them off, saying, quote, "Many of you have found these proceedings amusing throughout the trial, yesterday and today, showing disrespect to the court. I hope for the sake of all your families, the public and the people who have offered you jobs and apprenticeship and the sort, that you all grow up." So Jay didn't go to jail for this. He got a community order, and he had just finished serving that community order when he went to Tenerife. So that's the history that has fed into some of the sort of conspiracy theories that are swirling on TikTok and other places. Now, to be clear, this is still a missing person, a person who has family and friends who are really worried about him. He's not done anything wrong in this instance, as far as we know. And that kind of wild speculation, even if a person has a dark past, is not helpful. Another point of contention is that Jay's friend, I believe the friend who took the phone call from him, has set up a GoFundMe, which at the time of recording has raised £35,000. And that has been quite controversial for a lot of people because they're asking, I think fairly, what is that money for? Where is that money going to go? So far, I don't believe any of that money has been taken out or spent. Jay's mum had to come out, and Jay's parents, I have to say, have had a really hard time of this. Like, people are attacking them. They're already suffering so much. Like, it's not fair to start attacking his parents. But she's had to come out and give a statement basically saying, we're going to use that money to like pay for accommodation and pay for our flights while we look for him and stuff. Also, apparently, I will say GoFundMe has a policy that if they think a fundraiser is not, fully kosher, they won't actually pay the money out, or they'll refund people. So if it turns out there is something dodgy about that fundraiser, I'm not saying there is at all, but it won't get paid anyway, so it's ultimately moot. But it does seem that Jay's past has, for some people, been seen as kind of a license to make fun of him and make fun of the story. In fact, in typical internet fashion, people have been memeing his disappearance. We've seen lots of examples on Twitter of people just making jokes, making videos, just taking the thing very lightly. And actually, the whole thing is an interesting case of how you can see how each corner of the internet processes things. Twitter is doing memes and jokes. TikTok has launched into just elaborate conspiracies and sort of fake sleuthing. The kind of sleuthing where you do no actual investigation, but you just read lots of news articles and guess. And Facebook, well, let's just say the Facebook boomers have gone off the deep end a little bit. Obviously, this story is not funny, a person is missing. But one element that is quite funny is just how useless and deranged the Facebook posts have been from members of the public, making wild suggestions about how best to find Jay. Some of the most bizarre ones include, quote, "Genuine question, but have they tried searching for his footprints yet? Just saw my young one watching Scooby-Doo, and it seemed to work efficiently on that. Also, any updates?" I like the idea of, the thing about Scooby-Doo is, right, he may be unconventional, but my God, is he efficient. Someone else said, quote, "It's a shame that someone who has a lot of money, say like Cristiano Ronaldo, can't see this and organize some mad investigating team with lots of manpower and the correct tools. Even though the police will do a good job, it's just not quick enough and not enough people and knowledge. It needs some kind of specialist team, perhaps a team with a talking dog and a cowardly hippie making a big sandwich. Well done to everyone trying though, hope he is found safe." I mean, you kind of answered your own question there, man, which is that the police and the rescue teams are probably the correct people to be looking for Jay. I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo, talented as he is going to be able to kick his way to a resolution. There does seem to be a genuine belief among the general public that there are just these hidden, exclusive teams, these SEAL Team 6, A-team type figures that you can call up. I just don't think that's really true. And finally, quote, maybe a silly question, spoiler alert, it is, but if Jay cut his leg on a cactus, apparently on the phone call to his friend, Jay said that he had cut his leg on a cactus. If Jay cut his leg on the cactus, is it possible he got stuck to it and is still on the mountain but attached to a cactus, praying he gets home safe? You know, sometimes the best way to help is to just not interfere at all. I think the police have said that quite a lot over the years, that people interfering so much is actually just a hindrance to these kind of investigations. And we've seen this a lot in recent years. Obviously, earlier this year, there was so much wild and, in retrospect, really inappropriate speculation about Kate Middleton, people making all kinds of crazy accusations about Kate Middleton, and then it turned out she was actually just incredibly unwell. There was also Gabby Petito, the influencer who went missing, who then sadly turned up murdered, and people were speculating wildly about that, again, very unhelpfully. Although there are times where the social media buzz can help with the case, not the sleuthing, but the sort of raising of awareness. The thing about Gabby Petito is that people were, doing the Always Sunny board with the strings thing attached with it in a way that didn't help anyone. But the general obsession on social media did whip up so much awareness that there was a woman who saw her boyfriend's face online, recognized it, realized she'd seen them and seen their van, told police where they'd seen the van, and then it turned out that helped the police to find Gabby's remains. So that kind of social media awareness did help the case, but none of the online true crime speculation stuff helped. Because, the thing is, it drives me mad when people do this online detective thing. Like, you have no information. You're not out there looking for clues, nor should you be. Leave that to the pros. It's like that thing they say, if someone's like fallen in a river or whatever, you've got to make sure if you jump in to save them, they don't drag you under too. You got to help them in the correct way, because the last thing the teams need is to then also be looking for you because you've gone out to help and have also got lost. It's interesting how some cases capture the public attention and others don't. For example, while looking for Jay, the search parties found another guy, a Scottish hiker, who had also been missing. And I don't think they were even looking for him. It must have been kind of rough for him, because he was like, you finally found me. How long have you been looking for me? And they were probably like, yeah, we found you, buddy. We definitely weren't looking for a different guy. Like, I'm glad they found him. But it's maybe it's because of the sort of, criminal past and stuff because it's a bit messy, people like this story. But it is strange that, certain stories capture the public and others don't. I'm glad that guy got found. And hopefully Jay will too. I will emphasize right now, at the time of recording, that is as much information as we have. Jay has not been found at the time of recording. So, if you're watching this in the future, which you definitely are, and you have more information than us, first of all, good for you. Hopefully Jay's been found. But, please don't come for us. We don't know the situation beyond this right now. And I know that won't matter anyway, and you will comment, but I will try and stop it. But what do you think? Do you think it's good for people to weigh into these things? Do you think the sleuthing is helpful? Do you think it's a hindrance? Are you in those Jay Slater Facebook groups? Do you think the memes are funny? Do you think the memes are completely inappropriate? Let me know your thoughts down below. Till next time, I will say, what is the charge? Eating a meal, a succulent Chinese meal. Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.